What's going on with The Wolf? And we back with another episode of The Couch. And I'm excited to be here because we kicking off season 2. And we got a very special episode today. We're gonna find ourselves joined by influencer, content creator, and mompreneur, Malaya K. So don't go nowhere because we got a very special episode coming up and we want y'all to see it. Check it out. What's going on? We back with another segment of Wolf Books. This is actually the first Wolf book of this season. So I wanted to take this time to introduce you guys, not just to a book, but to an author. John C. Maxwell, and he's notorious for making books about leadership. The reason I'm introducing you guys to this author because he has a plethora of books for you to be able to choose from, and you can find a title that fits you and where you're at in your life. For me, one of my favorite books from John C. Maxwell is The Leader's Greatest Return. And basically the book is about, getting your return on investment by investing into other leaders to make them, just as good, if not better than you. For me, being the leader that I am, I'm always challenging myself to strive to become better. And that book gives you the tools that you can use to be able to do so. It also tells you how to lead by example, how to hold yourself accountable, how to hold others accountable, how to put out the strengths of others, how to tuck the weaknesses, and just a bunch of different things that'll make you better as a person in general. And when you become a better person, with that's transparent across the board, whether it's in your business, in your relationships, just, for self as a parent, whatever that looks like. So check out The Leader's Greatest Return by John C. Maxwell and check out all of his other books because he got the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership, and the guy's resume is impeccable, and I actually aspire to have a list of books that long. So I want y'all to be introduced to him, I want y'all to check it out, and I want y'all to go download, buy his books, do whatever you gotta do. That's what we're gonna do for this Wolf book, and I'm definitely gonna tell y'all it's a 10 out of 10. It made me a better leader, and it's showing up in my everyday atmosphere and the culture that we create here over at the Wolf Network. So don't go nowhere because we got a special show coming up next. The Wolf has spoken. What's going on? I told y'all we was gonna be joined by a very, very, very special guest. I already allowed her to introduce herself, but right now I kind of want to get into a background of who Malaya is. I feel like you got so much influence. You was able to do so much, you know what I mean? But I personally actually was searching to try to figure out if I could find some stuff about you just so I could talk about it. And I felt like it don't exist, so I feel like we getting the exclusive. So tell everybody about yourself and, just give them a brief background for those of them who don't know.
Okay. Well, it's definitely, do I look here? No, I'm gonna look at you.
Yeah.
Let me talk to my people. You said it's my camera.
Yeah, go talk to your people.
I'm really nervous. I'm just gonna tell y'all now. I'm really nervous.
I can tell you sitting over there like you was just your first time at a nigga crib. Okay. You good?
All right, let me get in close.
There you go. Damn, you good?
All right, so about me. That's a crazy question.
All right, so I guess I'll make it easier for you. Let's start with just your upbringing, born and raised, where you from? What was that like?
Okay. Well, I was born and raised here in Philly.
Yeah.
I'm from North
Under
Philly.
what rock?
I'm from 32nd and Diamond.
There she go.
But I grew up down Germantown, so I was between both of them.
Yeah.
Pretty much, but I grew up Germantown.
That's respect. Did you go to school in Germantown and all that too?
I went to Uptown.
Oh,
I went
school
to Uptown. I did high school up North Philly too. I went to Grace.
All right, that's what's up.
Yeah.
So, well, I don't know, is your age a secret?
I'm 20.
You 20? That's what's up. It's crazy because you carry yourself older, but I would have never, I thought you were gonna say 23, 24.
Nah. People always say that because I feel like I've done a lot.
Yeah.
To be only 20.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. Not a whole lot. But to be where I'm at now, people always ask okay, how did you get to where you're at now?
Yeah.
Whatever. So you was asking about my upbringing.
Yeah.
So it was me and I got 2 younger brothers or whatever.
Mm.
I always been closed off. That's why you said under what rock?
Yeah. I be joking. Just so they know, that's our little joke. I be like, she lived under a rock.
So I've always been school and then straight home.
Yeah.
School and straight home. So my grades always did pay off. So high school, I graduated in 10th grade, in the 10th grade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, Martin Luther King.
Okay. You see me?
Okay.
So yeah, high school, I graduated in the 10th grade. And then straight from high school, I went to college. I went to East Stroudsburg University.
ESU?
Yeah, I went to ESU. And then straight from ESU, I think I was 2 months into school and I found out I was 2.5 months pregnant. So I got pregnant right
in the college.
Right.
Was it up college? You ain't...
No, I got pregnant. So I was in school for 2 months. But when I found out I was pregnant, I was 2.5 months
Oh, so
pregnant.
right before you went?
Right before
somebody shot the club up.
Yeah. Right before I
He
went.
said, I'm gonna take her out the game. She thinks she about to go up here. So I want to backtrack just a little bit though. What was it like? 'Cause how long have you had your platform?
My daughter 2, so I want to say maybe like 2.5 years.
Okay, so you didn't really have it in high school.
No, not at all.
What about college?
College? Still no.
All right.
Still no. It wasn't until I moved back home, and then that's when I started getting into like, cause I blew up on TikTok.
Yeah.
And then YouTube and then Instagram and everything else came into play, but it was TikTok. But that was more so when I left college.
So what was that transition like? Going from just, considered living like a normal life to now being like somebody that's very well known and, admired at such a high level?
I mean, it's honestly still the same.
Yeah.
Kind of, sort of, because I treat like my supporters as if they're like my real people. Like
Yeah.
a lot
Like
of
a
people
family.
like a lot of people get like a fan base or whatever you want to call it.
Right, supporters,
And they
fans.
start, yeah, they start acting different, or they start thinking that they too good for the people that got them to where they at now.
100%.
Whatever, and that's really
not your
me.
vibe.
So it's still the same, and I still get nervous like with big crowds and like with new people, but
Yeah.
that's just always how I've been. So that's how I am now still. But I mean, it's definitely new. Like life is definitely different. Like I went from just being like not regular, because I'm still regular.
Yeah, and I get,
but like
no, you're not regular. I can't let you. But I get what you mean. Like regular in the sense we human, but like you gotta also. I don't let nobody dim their own light. Like you gotta understand, like what you did that's not normal. So like we gotta. It's regular in the sense like, yeah, we human, but what you have accomplished isn't regular. So you gotta give it up for yourself for that.
Right. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it do be different in a sense, because people like treat you different, and I've noticed that like when you have certain things, not even have certain things. I'm not like a flashy person. Like I'm not one of them people. Like I stay to myself. Like I'm very chill, and I go with what I want to go with. Like I don't ride whatever way.
Right.
everybody
You're not
on.
for the
Like,
trends.
Yeah, like I do what I do, and I appreciate my platform and stuff like that, because they genuinely be there for like just me. Like they fuck with me for being me.
And I think that like to your point, like I tapped in on one of your lives and I was able to see how you engage with your audience. And that was the thing that caught my eye, because I'm like, oh, you just being yourself on camera, and people, they literally just liking and fucking with you for that, or whatever the case may be. So I think that that's dope, and I think that that's the best way to build a support system, because it's like you're almost like they see you out and feel like they actually know you, like they know your personal life, versus it being like this curtain and they trying to get behind the curtain. It's like, man, the curtain is up. I don't care.
I like that.
Yeah, but no, so it's crazy because it was dawning on me. You were saying you got pregnant basically 2 weeks before you went to school. Found out when you was up school for 2 months or whatever. Because now I'm putting the math together. So like, what was that moment like when you found out?
I mean, the moment was it was of course scary, because it's like, damn, like I just got up school, like, and then I've always been like not extra, but I always had like a lot of stuff. Like I've come, like I didn't come from like, I'm from Philly, but it's like I've always had, like my mom always made sure I had stuff.
Yeah.
So when I went, it's like, damn, like I done packed up my whole life. Like I was the only person up at ESU with a U-Haul truck. Like I literally had.
They said, "Is she moving into a crib or a dorm?"
No, really though. Like I went up ESU with a whole entire U-Haul truck, and it's crazy because, like I said, I graduated in 10th grade.
Yeah.
So I was up school on scholarship.
That's
and
fire.
The room that they wanted to give me, I was like, it's not gonna work. Like I'm on this side, and then she right here. Like I need like a door. So it was like I was moving into a crib, but
it was it was your space.
Yeah.
No, so speaking to you saying that it was scary, I think that could be scary for anybody, being a first-time mom for one, and then for two, finding out why you just enrolled in a school. So did you feel like that had any bearing on the direction of your life? Of course, parenting changes things, but do you think like it made you feel like, you know what, I might not finish school, or like I gotta figure it out?
So I'm not trying to get too deep right now, but like when I found out I was pregnant, like the person that I was dealing with, like at the time, like my baby dad or whatever, me and him wasn't in like a relationship. Like we wasn't like together.
Yeah.
I was with one person from 9th grade all the way up until I was in school, and then we stopped dealing with each other. Like he cheated, I stopped dealing with him, and then right after I stopped dealing with him, I started dealing with my baby dad, and I got pregnant or whatever. So it was more so extra scary, because it's like, damn, like
I don't really have no like bond or relationship with this
That's what
person,
I'm
and we about to be lifetime partners.
Yeah. So it was like when I found out, I was more so scared, because it's like, damn, like I just got up school. I don't know what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
Like it was scary on that end, but I wasn't scared until I got back to my dorm, and I actually texted him like, I need to talk to you, and he like, what's up? I'm like, can you come to my dorm? And he like, what's wrong? I'm like, it's not a conversation you want to have.
You already know it's
like,
something when it get to
not...
that. But I want you to go more into that conversation. But before you do, we're gonna cut to a quick commercial break. So don't go nowhere. When we come back, we're gonna continue this conversation with Malaya.
Here at CPR Epoxy, we offer a wide range of flooring techniques. We offer polished concrete, metallic epoxy floors, flake epoxy floors, solid color epoxy floors, and more. We also offer countertops made with epoxy. You can contact us today to learn more at 833-273-6353.
Before we cut to that commercial break, you was about to go into the discussion you had with your baby father.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna just give you the floor. I'm sit back and we just gonna listen.
Okay. So once I finally got him to like come to my dorm, I didn't even tell him why. He already came with like a box of pregnancy tests. I swear to God. Like he literally came.
God told him. He knew he did.
Yes.
He came guilty.
Yes.
Hun.
Literally a whole 5-pack like of pregnancy tests. So when he came there, he had a bag, and I'm like, I'm not about to ask you like what's in your bag. Like it wasn't like
Right.
you know what I'm saying? So he like, what's up? And I'm like telling him, I'm like, I went to urgent care because we had free urgent care at ESU at the time. So I'm like, I went to urgent care and, I thought I had the flu. Like I wasn't feeling well. I wasn't able to hold down no food. Like, and
That's the scariest moment.
Yes.
Girl text you, my stomach hurt. You like,
yes.
what you mean your stomach hurt?
So
I'm not feeling
good. I don't got the flu, but they told me I was pregnant.
Yeah.
So he just his whole body like just got like, you can just tell like, I don't even know how to explain
Like
it.
in an uncomfortable type way, or you got uncomfortable?
Yeah, like
it deflated in a sense, like
Yeah.
you're seeing the energy in that.
Yeah.
I can see what you mean.
For sure.
So, was he the first person you told?
No, when I was in like at urgent care or whatever, the first person I called was my best friend, and I just bust out crying. Like I just bust out crying, and she like, "What's wrong?" And I'm trying to like get the words out. I could not get the words out, so I just held the little test that the nurse brought back in there. I just held it up, and she like, "What that mean?" I'm like, I just kept crying. Like I just kept crying. I couldn't say I was crying.
Yeah, no, dang.
Yeah.
I know that had to have been shocking. So like, how did that affect your ex in a sense? I know you said he cheated, and I'm pretty sure you probably really didn't care. But did that cross your mind?
We don't have to get into that. But what's crazy is that like when I first told my ex, that I was pregnant and stuff like that, he was like mad, of course. Like, well, not mad, but like he wasn't like jolly joy. Like it wasn't that. But my whole entire pregnancy, like we was together. Like I wasn't with my baby dad at all. Like my whole pregnancy, damn near every appointment, he went to every appointment with me. He was there for like a lot of stuff. And we're not together now, but during the whole process, like I'll forever like appreciate him for that because he didn't have to be there, but he was there.
No, I think that that take a lot. I think that's probably what came with a sense of him taking accountability, and it sounded like y'all had a friendship and a bond, like y'all being together since 9th grade. So this did dawn on me. So you said you graduated by the end of 10th grade. So that like 1 year?
So before I went to school, I was home for a little while.
Yeah.
Like I was home. So all the 9th grade we dealt with each other. 10th grade we dealt with each other, and then before I left school, like I didn't take a year off, but like I'm like, all right, I graduated early.
Oh, I got
not
you.
to go to school.
I got
like,
you. I got you.
I didn't. Yeah, I graduated to finish school because I don't want to be in school. Not to go to school early. So I took some time off, and during that time off, we were still,
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So like, since becoming a mom, what would you say has changed within you, like the areas of growth?
Backtracking just a little bit. So remember I told you, like I told my baby that I was pregnant and all of that stuff. So like I said, I was with my ex my entire pregnancy. So when I told him I was pregnant, he basically broke it to me like, I'm not ready right now. I'm not sure that this is what I want right now in my life, whatever. And mind you, my baby dad is older than me, like 4 or 5 years older than me. So I'm like, okay, like cool. So the plan was like, not gonna lie, like my daughter was like dead almost aborted, like dead serious.
Damn.
Because when he was telling me what he was telling me, I'm like, okay, like cool. Like my mom raised me by herself. Like my dad was never in the picture. Like he popped in and out, and I'm like, I don't want that for my kid.
Yeah.
Especially because this man is telling me like from the jump, like I don't want it. Like I'm not, You know what I'm saying? So
Right,
I'm like,
right.
all right, cool. So I went to get the abortion, literally. Like, before you get one, you have to, like, know how far along you are. And they did, like, an ultrasound, and I seen, like, my daughter's heartbeat. And I'm like,
I can't do it.
I can't, yeah, like, I couldn't do it. So I went back to my dorm, and, like, well, not to my dorm, but, you know, I let him know, like, I'm not gonna go through with it.
Yeah.
But, you know, if you don't want to be here, like, that's fine. Like, I'll take full responsibility. You don't gotta worry about nothing, whatever, whatever. And he was just more so on the type of time, like, okay, I still said what I said and all of that. So I was like, all right, cool. So I ended up, you know, I told my mom. My mom knew at this point. My aunt knew at this point. My best friend knew at this point. My mom, my best friend, and my brothers, they came up. They helped me pack everything up in my dorm,
Yeah.
back into a U-Haul. I moved back home and I got a job. I was a healthcare call representative. I was the youngest one in there. Like, I was only 17. So literally everybody in there is like 25, like
Yeah.
youngest, 25.
Yeah.
So I'm the youngest one in there, and I worked up until like 4 days before I gave birth. But back to what you just asked me, like why
Yeah.
I brought that up, is because I kept that job from me being 2.5 months pregnant all the way until 4 days before I gave birth. And literally that was crazy to me. So I felt like me being a mom, like that changed in me because I've always been like a hustler. Like I've
Yeah.
always liked my own money. Like
Yeah.
my first job was at McDonald's, then I was at Rite Aid, I was at Walmart, I was at Five Guys, I was at Five Below. Like I literally always had a job. And I'm bringing it up to say, like, I would always quit. Like if my boss got on my nerves, a customer irritated me
Oh,
too
if
bad.
after the job was a person.
No, literally though, like if something I just didn't like, I'm like, all right, I'm not going back. I wouldn't call sometimes, like I just wouldn't go in. I would walk out of work and everything.
Your resume probably
And
shitty. I
it
know
is. It's
you
real
can't get
bad.
no references, no
Real
nothing.
bad. I think I got one reference, and no, I got two. And those was jobs after my daughter. But
Gotcha.
anything before that,
They was like, no.
nah. I think the longest time I held a job for, like before I had my daughter, was maybe a month. Maybe a month and a half. I'm lying.
You did better than me. I never made it past orientation, so I get it.
Nah, I got past that.
Yeah, no, but it's crazy because you said a lot, and that was a lot to unpack. First of all, I want to say you strong. You know what I mean? And I feel like I'm not in your shoes, but I feel like you know, and I could see the way your life is going that you made the right decision. I could never even imagine what that process is like. But like I said, I could just see the aftermath of it. And it's never okay when, you know, because I'm a man and I got two daughters at the same time, and I could understand that thought process, but I feel like we never look at your thought process and what that looks like. We just think like, all right. And I could speak to this because at one point in my life, you know, me being younger, having kids young, I'm like, all right, cool. You know, I'm not ready. And you think when you say that, like, you know, it's supposed to just change something. But for real, now the thought process is like, well, damn, I know what I did. And even though I'm not ready, I got to get ready. So, you know, hopefully, you know, people that's even out here watching right now can understand, like, that's for real. Like, when people make it a joke, when they think, like, yeah, I'm a dumping her, I'm going to shoot up the club, or I'm a nut in her. She said nut in me. But it's like, bro, you can't. Once you make that decision to nut in her, you now put your future in her hands because now she has the decision to make. And if you know you're not going to agree with the decision, then don't put yourself in that predicament. But, you know, that's just for the men out here. But for you, again, like I said, you know, you're strong. And, you know, I can see from the aftermath of what's going on that you very much in love with your daughter. We're going to get to that, though, because I want to dig a little deep. But we got to cut to another commercial break. So don't go nowhere. When we come back, we're going to get into our digging deep segment with Malaya. Yeah, so before we cut to a commercial, I said we was gonna get into our digging deep segment, and in that segment, you know, it's pretty much, I'm gonna be real, like it's consistent with the conversation we've been having, but it's just, I guess, you know, it allows you that space to even open up even a little bit more, or whatever the case may be. So this is like the opportunity. One thing I was gonna ask, right, was like, do you feel like, yeah, and I feel like there's a rhetorical question, but I still want to ask, do you feel like that ended up being your biggest blessing? Like that decision you made to say, you know what, I'm not doing this, I'm keeping my baby.
I do. Because, like, when I think back, it's like, if I didn't do that, I don't know where I would be. Like
Yeah.
I said, like, before this, like, but before my daughter, I couldn't keep a job, and I wasn't really consistent. Like, I don't know what I was doing. Like,
Yeah.
I was just living. Like, I was 16, 17, like, when
Yeah.
all of this shit. Like, I was 16 when I started dealing with my baby dad.
Yeah.
17 when I found out I was pregnant. And it just went from there. But it's
Yeah.
like before that, like looking back now, it's like I was really like not on some bullshit because I was a kid, but
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
for sure.
I don't know what I was doing. And my situation literally forced me
Yeah.
to know what the fuck I'm doing. Like
Yeah.
to know what's next, to
Yeah.
know my next step. Like I couldn't just go through it just, okay,
Right.
I'm
Couldn't
gonna
be
get through it.
clueless.
Like I couldn't be clueless. Like I had to
Yeah.
figure it out. So I
Yeah.
feel like that situation I would say is my biggest blessing. Not because my daughter is like, it might sound cheesy, like the best thing that happened to me.
Yeah.
But it's like the experience and the things I had to go through,
Yeah.
like with what she came with, and
Yeah.
just after her, before her, and preparing for her, whatever. I just feel like it molded me into the person I am today. That
So
makes sense.
I was just about to ask you if you felt like it accelerated your learning curve as a person. Like, you know, if it forced you into like, well, I mean, it's already seemed like you was maturing fast, finishing high school at such a young age. You know, it almost seemed that you've been ahead of your time, but you felt like that kind of gave you that discipline and that focus to be like, you know what, I kind of got to figure it out now because I got somebody else relying on me, right?
Sure.
So I noticed you got a scar on your forehead. And I'm going to just be real. I actually seen your post on Instagram. Let me just call it a spade a spade. I seen the caption, but let's walk through that process. You got into a car accident, reckless driver, lady was, you used the word about like how she had no regard for like y'all lives. She only cared about her car at the time. So walk us through that process. I know it was a traumatic experience, but you know, like take us through that moment.
So with the car accident, it was me and my friend. We was on our way. We was leaving the laundromat on our way. I had a doctor's appointment, so she was just gonna drop me off, but I was driving.
Yeah.
So basically, I'm going down. The lady's coming up or whatever. I'm in this car. It's another car in front of me. So we're both turning left. So we both got the light to turn left, so we both could just go freely. The lady who was in the car behind this car turning left, I guess she was on some fast stuff like, okay, this person turning left, like this person turning, let me go around them, because I guess she was going straight. She goes around them and she literally smacks the hell out of us, like to the point she's in somebody's lawn, we're on the side of a pole, like it was literally crazy. And I kept saying like, if she would have hit us like a smidge harder, if we would have hit that pole, like I would not be here today, like at all. And it was crazy because my friend is legit like passed out, like in the passenger seat. And I'm here, but the people like they run over to the accident and all of that stuff. And I'm like, literally, we both passed out. But they're more so like trying to see what's going on with me more so because I'm bleeding from my head. Like we don't know where it's coming from. If it's coming from like my head, it was coming from my forehead, of course, but we don't know where exactly it's coming from. Nothing. And I just remember keep going in and out of consciousness. And the first time that I like regained my consciousness, it was this man. I always say I'm gonna remember him because he looked like Curtis from Meet the Pains. He looked just like him.
I gotta Google that.
You don't know who Curtis is?
They're gonna show Curtis for the people that's watching. We're gonna show that on the screen.
Yeah, y'all gotta. He gotta show y'all Curtis.
I feel like I'm gonna recognize him.
You don't? Okay. Anyway. So he woke me up or whatever. He like, my mom like, you gotta get up. Like, the car is leaking oil. Like, the car is smoking. Like, you bleeding. Like,
said
y'all
your
gotta.
mom?
No, he called me mama.
Mama.
Yeah.
I just said my mom. I'm like,
No.
when your mom get there? I thought I missed something. Hold on.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So he like, you gotta get up. You gotta get up. So I remember passing back out. The second time I woke up, it was him and like his wife. And I'll never forget, like, it was like a pack of Bounty paper towels. They literally giving me paper towels to like put on my forehead and all of that stuff. And literally like they're filling up like quicksand. Like I remember like when the ambulance got there and I got out the car, it was literally like a stack. Like we filled up 2 whole rows
That's crazy.
of the paper towels.
Yeah.
And I remember passing back out. And when I got up like the third time, which was the last time, I got up because the lady in the other accident was literally shaking me like, you dumbass. Excuse my language, y'all. She's like, you dumbass bitch. Like, I drive a BMW. Like, are you crazy?
So she was conscious this whole time?
The lady in the other car, she literally had the energy to get out her car and walk over to where we were to shake me and tell me, like, call me a dumbass bitch and tell me what kind of car she drives. So, like, aside from it already being like a traumatic experience, you made it like 150 times worse because you just hit me, first of all. You hit me.
Yeah.
You almost killed us in this car. Like, we both almost died.
Yeah.
Like, fuck just me. We both just almost died in both these cars.
Yeah.
But instead of checking to see, like, if the 2 people you just hit in this car was okay.
You worried about your car. A material possession.
You telling us what kind of car you drive.
Yeah.
Like,
So was she? I don't know if it mattered, but was she young or old? Like
She was actually older. Like,
okay.
not like an old lady. Older,
No, I
but
just
like,
said older.
I would say probably like mid-30s. Like
Okay.
yeah.
So I would still consider that to be young, but
Okay, not like
I
that.
can see the difference. I can see it. I can see
Okay.
it. But no, when I seen it on your page, I definitely reached out and I would just like hope you you're doing good. I know it was a lot of people reaching out. I did see you had a high level of engagement, but I definitely wanted to tap into that because I could only imagine. That's one of my fears is like car accidents, right? Like I don't let people do a certain speed limit when I'm in a car. Like I'd rather drive because like I feel like it just, people don't understand how much human life you hold in your hands when you get behind the wheel. Now, granted, we all know how to drive, so it becomes second nature to us, but that one reckless thing really could cost somebody their life. And in this instance, you got a lot of people that love you, you got a daughter. So, like, was that on your mind when you were thinking about it?
So I was so out of it
Yeah.
that, like I said, we was coming back from the laundromat. So the clothes is in the back seat. It's
Yeah.
clothes all over the car right now.
Yeah.
So like I said, the paper towels stood up like quicksand. So eventually, like I just picked up, like I remember it being clothes all over the car. So I picked up the first thing
And just started.
and I just put it on my head.
Yeah.
So when that was like, it was like, I don't know why, but I just took it down. And it was a pair of my daughter tights.
Yeah.
I'm in the car going off. Like, I'm like, y'all gotta help me find my daughter. Like, where's my daughter at? Whole time at the time, my daughter was actually with her dad.
Yeah.
But I'm so out of it. Like, I'm looking for my daughter and my daughter is not in the car.
Even
I know
that,
for
yeah.
a fact she's not with me, but I'm so out of it. And you're literally at the door, like
Yeah.
the car door, trying to like fight me, telling me what kind of car you drive. So it literally was crazy. So I would say like my daughter, like that was like the first thing on my mind. Like aside from me, like
Of course,
trying to figure out what's going on.
Right.
The second thing was just like, damn, like,
So you spoke to her with her dad. So I guess rewinding back to his initial statement, like so things have changed since then.
yeah. So the way that went, my baby dad, remember I told you like once he told me that, not even 3 days later, I got another U-Haul, moved back home.
You came back home, yeah.
Got a job, all of that good stuff. So it wasn't until my gender reveal, like when I posted that I was actually pregnant, like, cause nobody knew I was pregnant until my gender reveal.
Yeah.
Like I'm sorry, not unless, except like my family who I told and like friends, or if you actually see me and you could see, but
Yeah.
I didn't really post nothing. So when I posted my gender reveal or whatever, I just posted what I was having. My ex-boyfriend at the time, he came to he was at my gender reveal and everything. His family, all of that stuff. Like he was literally there for everything. And my baby dad actually hit me up and he was like, what's up? And I'm like, what you mean? And he like, you wasn't gonna say nothing. And I'm like, I told you, you said what you said and I said what I said. You said that you didn't want it. You said you wasn't ready. And I told you that I still wanted to keep my baby. I came home. I prepared myself for my child.
Yeah.
And that's what it is. Like, I wasn't going to hit you up. And I let him know, I'm not going to bother you. Like, I really was going to keep my word when I said, like...
I'm doing it with or without.
Exactly. Yeah. Because when I initially went to get the abortion and I seen the ultrasound, I was doing it because I'm like, I don't want to do this by myself. Like, he's already telling me he don't want it. Mm-hmm. But when I left the abortion clinic, like, that's the mindset that I went going.
Yeah.
But when I left, it was just like, okay, he don't want it. I want it. I can't force him to be there. Yeah. But I can prepare myself and be mom and dad for my daughter. Yeah. So that was my mindset up until forever, honestly. Like, you know what I'm saying? But when he hit me up or whatever, he was just like, if you need anything, let me know. He checked on me a couple times after that. But at that point, I would think I was like 5 or 6. I don't know how far along I was. I forget exactly. But however far I was, then he checked on me maybe like 3 or 4 times after that. And then once I actually gave birth, he came around when my daughter was like a week old. And he was like, I want a blood test because you telling me it's my baby, but your ex been around. And I'm like, okay, like that's fine. Mm. So we did it. And of course she came back his. And since then, like he was there in life. Like right now it's like, we still be going at it because he's like, I don't even want to talk about that, but he's there, like in a sense.
Yeah,
like he's there.
I think as humans, especially when you having a baby out of issue, even if you're having a baby while married, it's always going to create that dynamic of differences in perspective, that's just in relationships. So when you put a third party in it, such as a child, if y'all don't got the exact same views, beliefs, and parenting styles, it's going to be some type of friction. So that's just a part of the process. But I think that it's good to know that y'all have figured something out to where, though, your daughter get the opportunity to have her father in her life, because I like the decision you made saying, with or without, but I'm a dad, so I know that both roles is necessary. Like, there's really no way a woman could be a dad and a mom, and you should never have to be, or never even have to bear that thought. So I'm glad for her that she's actually able to experience both, because she needed, you know what I mean? I know how important it is, because I talk to a lot of young women, older women, women my age that didn't have that, right? And I see the impact, right? And I got 2 daughters, so and that's like almost like a case study for me, being able to look and be able to learn from what other dads didn't do for their kid to make sure that I don't make that mistake with mine. So I'm glad your daughter is able to get that. But she like a little star. Like, people really love her. Like, she like the star of the show. So like,
No, she is.
let's lighten the mood a little bit. When we come back, I want to go into that, and we're going to get into our open discussion. So don't go nowhere. When we come back, we get into our open discussion with Malaya. We're going to talk about True Malaya. Before we cut to a commercial, we wanted to pivot from that such a heavy conversation, and we left off at True Malaya. That's her name, right? So let's talk about the little star.
Okay, what you want to know?
I mean, honestly, I guess really let's just go through the process of what that's like. You're a momapreneur. That's something that you advocate and you always speak about. So what's that like, running a business with your child?
So everything that I do, being as though I'm able to I make money like on my phone. So everything I do is on my phone. I sell stuff. I can do it on my phone. I get paid from social media. I can do it on my phone. I get paid from brands to do content and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's like everything on my phone. So being as though everything is on my phone and I don't have to go somewhere and leave her for a certain amount of hours per day.
Yeah.
Like traditionally, basically.
Yeah.
We spend a lot of time together. And because I'm able to do that, I do everything around her. So it's I do events, but I'll do events surrounding kids. So it's everything would be kid friendly.
Yeah.
For example, I did a 4th of July cookout.
Okay.
But I had a hookah girl there.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I got a hookah girl.
Who's the hookah for?
The mom.
No, because you said I do everything for kids. You talking about a hookah?
No.
No, I'm messing with you.
So the moms, we had a hookah and stuff. The kids, I rented out this big ass, it was this moon bounce slide.
Was that for the moms too?
Basketball court. No, that was for the kids. I got on there
no, I'm
when
joking. You
had a
gonna
couple
learn.
drinks,
I play
but
too much.
Yeah. I just try to do, I'm only using it to say, everything I do, I include my daughter in literally everything. So if it's an event, I'm gonna have my fun. I'm gonna turn up. But I always try to
incorporate.
Yeah.
That's what's up,
everything
though.
I do is it's a mama side, but it's also a baby side, and it's a space where we could
Do you think you inspire other mothers to create that type of bond with their kids?
Of course. I get messages every day, from moms literally all over, literally all over. When I had a cookout, I invited some of my supporters actually. And I had maybe 10 moms, because I don't like big crowds.
Yeah.
So I invited 10 moms. They came with the kids. I met the kids. They played with True. They played with each other. They played with the other kids that was on the block.
Yeah.
Everything else. So it's I feel me having events where they can come and be a part of what me and my daughter have going on.
Yeah.
They're doing not the same thing, but they're a part of it. And it's they always tell me I inspire them to do just different things.
So do you ever get any backlash for putting your daughter out there because your platform's so big? Be it all the other side of things to people?
I do. It was a point where I stopped posting my daughter for a little while.
Yeah.
Maybe for 2 months or so. And because my supporters, I make them feel like family. I make them feel when we're on live, it don't feel like live. It feel like FaceTime. We're on FaceTime. And they always in the comments we on FaceTime at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, we cousins at this point.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's they were on the type of time we understand that you want to protect her, but we still want to see her. So it was I inched it back in there, and I just was more careful about what I posted.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I guess because it was it's hella predators out there.
No, yeah.
And I know because you're a man and you have daughters also.
Yeah.
You know what's out there, for sure. So
I was gonna ask you, how does she react to the camera. So I'm gonna be honest, I've never seen like her like engage on camera and like I've never seen the content. I think you did like a photo shoot with her. I seen that. But like how was her energy on camera? Like she love it, like her mom or?
I wouldn't say she loves it. Like she's learning, not learning, but like she's only 2. So it's like she knows.
I thought she was 3 because I tried to do the math, but 2 makes sense.
Yeah. So she'll be 3 in April. She's,
Okay.
Yeah.
Aries?
Taurus.
We were just talking sounds behind the scenes, so now it just
you don't even know.
All right.
You don't even know. She's a Taurus. But she's like becoming more in love with the camera. Like if she sees my phone up, she'll go in front of the phone and she'll go like this and she wanna lick her tongue out and do all this little also extra stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like that because she's becoming older and she's more like aware and more conscious versus any other time. Like it's just there.
No, that makes sense.
That's it. But she's
So I feel like I didn't pry a lot out of you or whatever. We in our open discussions segment right here, so it becomes more conversational where you can ask me questions as well. So because I just probably went like 100 straight, I'll open up the floor for and I got a couple topics I'm gonna want to go into, whatever we can muster out in this time. But did you have any questions that's just at the top of your mind?
I do. So a lot of what I do is like social media, right? So like you having daughters or whatever. How old is your oldest again?
She's 13.
13?
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, you really know them. So with her being 13, I know you said that she be saying certain stuff to you, like, what she say to you?
Not too much.
Yeah, not too much,
Yeah.
not too much. So stuff like that. Like, how do you feel about the whole social media thing and like what you think about that, I guess, is my question.
I feel like it's a part of the world now, right? So like instead of being somebody that's against it, I just try to understand it and what it does to my child. I feel like she's very self-aware of who she is, and my daughter don't care. She got an Instagram, but she don't have no pictures up. So in the beginning, I'll be real, I thought it was like a self-conscious thing. Like, baby, you're so beautiful, why you don't post any pictures? But she's like, Dad, it's not that deep. Like, people see me in person, like I don't. And then she my daughter too, so it's like that's also a dynamic that matters because she got my face. So it's like, she just really, now my youngest daughter, she all for it. Dad, post me on your page. But my oldest daughter, she really like, Dad, don't put me on camera. So I think I'd be more so concerned about who she engaged with, but I don't go through her phone or nothing. I know some parents, they with all of that, but I want her to have a safe space to feel like we can communicate. So like my daughter tells me, like, I can't say everything because, I mean, who really tells everything, but we have a great line of communication where she feels comfortable down to the point where, and I know she's gonna get on me for saying this, but she even told me like, when she was like the boy or whatever and all of that, like, and like that was big to me, you feel what I'm saying? Because the fact that she felt comfortable enough to say, and we talked about it, and I don't know what her mom thought my reaction was gonna be, but I really just wanted to understand. Because now we're at this point, like, we can't shake it, so now I need to understand what you like about this person, you know what I mean? What are you attracted to? What are the things that catch your eye? And because we got this good level of communication, I trust her. So social media, she not really the one that's like, don't get me wrong, she might really probably know who you is, follow you and all that, because she be putting me on a lot of people. So I'm pretty sure she probably already know your stuff. But at the same time, it's not one of the things where she gonna allow that to like make her, be insecure or want to be something that she not. My daughter got good character, and that's the one thing that I'm most proud about. She's still growing, but I can see the potential. So I'm just happy about that.
Okay, so 2 things. So I remember when we was first talking about like my baby dad situation and you was like, you can speak from you being a man and you having daughters, whatever. So I think that you said something like, you basically was like, you try to put yourself in my shoes.
Yeah.
In a way. Because you was like, you wondered like how.
What was going through your mind?
What was going through my mind.
Yeah.
So I want to say like, it's decent that you're able to like have that relationship with your daughter and her be comfortable, because from what I came from, I was never able to talk to my mom. So like, people love me so much because of the relationship that I had with my kid.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm just saying like, I admire like the relationship that I guess
appreciate
that
that.
y'all have.
No, I appreciate that. And vice versa though. I appreciate that though.
I think another thing you had asked me, you was like, as far as like with the platform and with having my daughter, like what it comes with and stuff like that. And I was talking about like predators and stuff like that. So I know you saying like what you saying, but I'm asking you the same question you asked me.
Like, so I got a personal page that's private that I more so post. I post them on my regular page as well, but I mean, I try to limit it for that reason. I think that both of my kids, they got a good structure and a good system. And I feel like we do a good job at kind of protecting them from that, unless they go out their way to be exposed to something that, as parents, we can't just know everything. But I feel like I don't know, I kind of know I know then this might sound crazy, but I just know how I'm gonna come about my kids. So it's like one of them things where it's like certain things, I feel like it's just as good as it could be bad. So like so many people will protect my kids because of the respect that they got for me. They're like, I know your dad, you know what I mean? So I think that it adds that armor. But at the same time, you do gotta be conscious of, you know, anything that could happen out here. So it's always a concern, especially being a dad, especially having a background in the streets and stuff like that. Is like, I'm already security minded. But I equip my kids with tools to understand, like, it's like my daughter understands certain things at 13 that protects her from things too, because I communicate to her. So, you know, I feel like as a man, a lot of times, and I'm just gonna speak to the audience when I say this, you know, as a father, a lot of the times men, you know, we want our kids to live in la la land and we want them to feel like everything is a fairy tale. And even when we teach them how to date, we never really teach our daughters how, like, we never teach our daughters how a man wants to be loved, in a sense, right? And I'm segueing from that question into this because I think it's important. And it's like one thing that I'm adamant about is like I do teach my daughter that a man should do X, Y, Z, right? But I also make sure she understands that in order for a man to do X, Y, Z, you also have to do A, B, C. So it's not really just a take for nothing thing. It's more so like, this is what's expected of you in order to be able to reciprocate whatever it is that you're requiring. But it's not nothing grand. It's just the simple things. So I had them type of talks with her, and I also talked to her about, you know, her understanding, you know, her development, and just, I do what I can to give her the tool to use. Like, so she can't say I didn't have a man that loved me. That's a lie. I didn't have a man that brought me flowers. That's not true. I take her on dates every Valentine's Day, and we communicate. And in doing so, I feel like she's not even seeking that. So it's like when we think about predators, it's like they pry on a certain profile, little girl or woman or little boy or man, and it typically is the person that they feel like is susceptible to these things based on what they don't have. So if it's not a male in their life, and that's the scariest thing about it, but you know, I'm here. So I try to make sure that my presence is felt, and you know, as long as I feel like people know that, I feel like that adds that barrier. So I just, from there, I leave it to God for real. But let's talk about you know, if you don't know, I wrote a book. We talked about my book. Let me stop acting stupid. Cheating is not cheating. What you think about when you hear my title?
I don't know how to feel about it.
Go ahead,
like when
say
you
something so I
told
can
me
kick
the
you off the
title,
couch.
like
It's like, no.
cheating is not cheating. I'm like, okay. Like,
So it didn't make you think like he probably about to say some fuckboy shit. Like, ain't.
no, it did in a sense. That's why I was like, okay.
Gotcha.
It's like, what you finna say? But it's like, I went like two places with it. Like I felt like when I heard the title, cheating is not cheating. It's like, all right, is he trying to like say some fuckboy shit? Like, is he
Yeah.
trying to like have us thinking that cheating is not cheating? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or is it like more so in a sense like he's trying to get us to like understand something?
Okay.
Like, is it a learning thing or
Yeah.
is it a fuckboy thing? Like,
Yeah.
which one is it? You feel me? Like, which one is it?
Yeah, you said, you something else. But no, so it's crazy because I did say cheating is not cheating, and that's a fact. But I never said a cheater is not a cheater. And that'll make it some fuckboy shit, right? If I'm like basically justifying it. It ain't no page in my book that justifies cheating. It just really, to your second point of just trying to get people to understand, it starts the conversation. Because the moment you say, well, what you mean? It automatically had that discussion. But let me ask you this, like you've been in a relationship where you dealt with your baby father and you also had a relationship. In those discussions, have y'all ever, in the beginning, sat down and talked about what cheating is? Like what you consider to be
No.
cheating or what he considered to be cheating?
No, but I feel like nobody, or I'm not going to say nobody, but I feel like a lot of people, like it's not very common, or at least I don't think it's very common to sit down and tell somebody like, yeah, you sitting out here with me. We just went out to eat. We just boom, boom, boom. And then after we done, you go in the bathroom and you sit on the toilet texting bitches. Like, I shouldn't have to say that that's cheating. Like, I feel like certain stuff, like, I don't know. So I
I
feel
get
like
where you're
no.
going. But I think the purpose of it, like the conversation need to be had because we really can't assume that people think how we think. It's monogamous people, it's polyamorous, it's polygamous, it's bisexual, it's all this stuff going on. And it's like, you just never know, what somebody's views are, right? So it's like, if you don't talk about cheating, somebody could be like, oh, you could be a girl, and you be like, if I deal with a girl, that's not cheating because I didn't do it with her. You follow what I'm saying? So it's like, that discussion has to be had if you want the relationship to be healthy. So the reason I say cheating is not cheating is because it's subjective and perspective based. Meaning me and you sit right here on this couch, but we don't have to share the same views on what we consider cheating to be. It just has to work individually for our relationships. Now, if we were to go together, then that discussion has to be had, well, damn, like, how call you like? Damn, like, what you consider cheating to be? Damn, nah, what you consider, you know what I mean? Now we trying to hash that out so we can create those boundaries. Then if those boundaries get crossed, now you're a fucking cheater. But I think, for me, like I said, it was just starting that discussion. Like, I encourage people to talk about it. Like, it shouldn't be, want to talk about finances, everybody want to talk about everything else, but they don't want to talk about what y'all see for a relationship. But what you look for in a man, or in a person, because you said that you was bisexual. You open about that? I mean, I'm not spilling your tea, am I?
No, they know.
All right, cool. All right, so like, what do you prefer in a person?
When I think about like not my dream person, but somebody like I would be in a relationship with or be intimate with, I feel like loyalty is everything. So I feel like I always try to build like a friendship. Like I feel like if I can't be like your friend, we can't be together. Like if we can't like sit down and have a conversation and bust it up and go out like by ourselves and like be friends.
Like, enjoy each other's company and
yeah,
stuff like
like like enjoy each other.
Yeah.
I feel like I can't be with you, but I feel like with that it's just as like I said loyalty is everything because I feel like if I feel like somebody is loyal to me, I'm gonna have your back. And I feel like if you don't have my back, like I can't really
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
No, for sure.
Yeah, so I feel like somebody probably who's loyal, of course, like I said. Somebody who's honest, of course. Like you don't want to
Would you consider yourself honest?
Yes, I do.
How honest?
Like very honest.
Do you be omitting stuff?
Yes.
No, I ain't say admitting, I said omitting.
What that mean?
Omitting mean like withholding information, like
no.
Like just tampering with the truth just a little bit.
You know how when you asked me like was anything off limits?
Yeah.
And I was like, I'm an open book.
Yeah.
I'm open book.
Got you. I mean, I think I say the same thing about myself because I feel like people who lie are people that fear the consequences or they just want to control the outcome. But when you kind of okay with however it go, you got no reason to lie. But you kept saying things about loyalty. You said loyalty is everything. And I agree because it's like, it should be a moral code. But I feel like loyalty is now subjective, meaning like everybody really has their own definition of what they think loyalty, not that it should be that way, right? Because loyalty could be defined, but people don't look at it as a universal principle. They look at it like it's circumstantial. So do you ever, like, what is loyalty to you, I guess, for somebody that might have a different view?
And that's why I said, like, when I said I want somebody to have my back, I feel like loyalty to me is if something was to go down, like, it don't matter if I was to drop my fries in McDonald's and the person behind me said something smart and I'm cursing them out. If I can't, like, I want to be able to call you and tell you about that. Like, I just
like a conversation, or you want them to pull up?
Not like pull up, no.
I'm like, who?
But like a conversation. Like, I just feel like if you have my back, like, just have my back. Like, I just want to be able to talk to you about anything. I feel like I'm not being judged. Because I feel like if I got to fight with the rest of the world, like, all day long,
you sound like us men.
Oh my God.
That's not a bad thing though. That's good. That's good to actually hear that perspective coming from a woman. I respect that because that's unique in a sense where it's like you kind of on the tip, like, have my best interest at heart, have my back, and be somebody that I can rely on in a way that creates that space that feels safe, that safe space, not necessarily that space that makes you feel like you at war with the world and at war with your partner when you come home. So you don't want that to be. Yeah, no, that make a lot of sense. I guess what was I going? I'll let you shoot me a question. And,
what's your idea? I'm gonna ask you what you just asked me.
You're not gonna keep hitting me with the same joke. We're going.
Because you don't want to answer. Yeah.
No,
so
I'm perfectly fine with that. It's simple. I'm into women that know themselves, right? Because I feel like if you know yourself, then you'll know why you like me. Like, I'm perfectly fine with who I am. I'm perfectly comfortable in my skin. But if you get with a woman that's unsure of herself, she could, for one, make you unsure of yourself, and then for two, she's never going to be satisfied with who you are because she don't even know what she wants. You know what I mean? So for me, knowing yourself is first. Two, honesty. Like, honesty where it's like, be okay with, like, allowing me to choose for myself. Like, if you do some fucked up shit, it might not be the end of the world, especially if you're honest, but if you lie, it's definitely the end of the world because that's, for me, that's my bottom line, that's my deal breaker, that's my non-negotiable as a liar. Everything else could be discussed. Like, it don't matter what you put on the table, we can talk about it because if we friends, like, you don't just throw friendship away over misunderstandings, lack of communication, or just, different situation, right? It's situational, but if you betray me in any way, if you lie to me, if you, for omit and withhold any information, I'm gonna feel like, you got your best interest at heart. You don't got my best interest at heart. So just those two components, and then somebody that's, like, she gotta be family oriented. Like, I want a family. Like, I got children, but I want to incorporate them into my new family when I get married. Cause I want a woman that's traditional in a crib, but modern in the world. What I mean, I'm not saying I don't subscribe to whatever social media say. I'm my own person. But what I mean traditional is like you play your position, I play my position because we're a team and we both want this to work. And when you go out into the world, I don't care if you have 20 businesses. Like, your success and your outside persona don't matter to me. Who you are to my daughters, to my future kids, and how you are within this family. Because I still got to humble myself and become Naeem when I'm around my woman. I can't come in here as wolf. So I just want that in the same thing. If I'm willing to do what I gotta do for this family, whatever that looks like, I need the same in return. Other than that, I'm simple. I ain't really a materialistic person. I like nice things, but that shit don't define me. I'm not defined by my possessions. So I don't know. I give women a chance, and like, you know, if they be themselves and it work, we might could be friends. It might not be meant for us to date, but it gotta start with them knowing themselves. Cause I know myself, and you're not about to confuse me about who I am with your insecurities, trying to make me think I'm wrong or I'm tripping, or you know how that shit go. But now let's switch up the tempo here. You see yourself as somebody that want to get married in the future? Because you know the new day and age, they're like, fuck them weddings.
No, I definitely still see marriage for myself.
Yeah.
Like, absolutely. I just feel like everybody just, like, nowadays, like, people just be wanting a ring. Like,
No, that's
I'm
real rap.
not,
Somebody
they
said
just be
that.
wanting a ring. Like,
They said
just
they don't
want a
want to be
ring.
wives. They just want, they said they want a wedding but don't want to be wives.
Exactly.
That was crazy.
And that's not my thing. That's why I can relate, like, when you saying, like, I want somebody who's, like, family-oriented. Like, you just want stuff like that, I
Yeah.
guess. So, yes, for myself, I definitely do see marriage.
Big wedding,
Like,
a little
absolutely.
wedding.
I want a very medium.
That's crazy.
I want
I
a
knew you was gonna
medium
pick the middle.
wedding.
Cause I'm like, it's crazy how you got this big ass platform, but you ain't introverted, but you to yourself in a sense.
Yeah.
Like, cause you said you like doing intimate gatherings, you only inviting 10 people. And I thought that was interesting because I'm like, that's very intimate. Cause like now you're really allowing people, you playing, their kids is playing with your kids. Like this is at this point, this is family. You know what I mean? So I was thinking about that when you said it and I didn't get a chance to tap into it. But I guess I really want to know, continuing this open discussion, I'm trying to think of some of the social media topics that people talk about. Like, I really be wanting people's opinion on. I really want to know, like, what's your perspective on men in total based on your encounters?
I don't want to speak on, okay, so me, I'm the type of person, like the question you asking me, I can't speak on, like, men in general because I haven't dealt with men in
No,
general.
I respect that.
But I can speak on the men that I've dealt with.
Yeah.
So, like, if I was to speak on them, I wouldn't really have too much good to say, but I just feel like with experiences come lessons, I guess.
Yeah, for sure.
So with every experience that I've had, I know, like, for future references, I want certain things. Like,
Yeah.
in my last relationship, I didn't have this. So in my next relationship, I know for a fact that
No, I like that.
moving forward, I want boom, boom, boom. But I'm not going to
Yeah.
use it against this person or whatever. You know
No,
what
that
I'm saying?
makes
Whatever
sense.
the case.
I think that even to your point, I feel like, you know, not many people are able to, you know, just shape their perspective off their experiences and allow it to be that. And then on top of that, learn from their experiences to then be able to grow from their experiences. Like you said, all right, I know I did this before. I'm not going to do this. I know I had this. I don't want that. They'll just condemn the whole entire species of man based on, you know, the actions of one particular person. Do you think you get, and this could be for whatever you're, because I know you prefer both men and women, do you think you get treated right, in a sense? Or like up to how you want to be? Because I see that as a huge topic on social media in general.
No. I feel like it's because the people that I run into, though. Like, the people that I, like, end up talking to. Like, I don't really know how to explain it. Like, I would just say no.
So
The
like,
plain
all
answer.
right, let's do it like this. What makes you, like, what you, and the reason I'm asking this, what makes you happy is the question, but the reason I'm asking this is because I feel like often people, when I ask them this question, they can't answer it. They don't know, they're like, I don't know, family, da-da-da-da. So it's like, what makes you happy?
It makes me happy. I just feel like somebody knowing how to, like, properly treat me without me having to ask. And I don't even want to say without me having to ask because some people, like me, you was having a conversation earlier and you was
Yeah.
like, everybody don't look at everything the same way.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody don't have the same experiences that I had
Right.
to look at it
Right.
in this way. So I can't do that. But I would just say that the way that somebody treats me is everything because, like I said, like with the car accident, the lady was more so worried about materialistic shit
right.
than 2 lives
Right.
that she almost took, basically. So I would definitely say that the way that somebody treats me is everything. Like, that makes me happy. Like,
But I gotta interject because like you gotta give, like, that's still general in a sense, right? Because you're like, how you gonna know how somebody, if they treating you right, if you can't even articulate what that look like? Like when you applied to
No, I
college, they
can't.
had a criteria. Like this is what you gotta meet to get in this school. So it's like, it don't gotta be, it's just like, what does that look like?
So what that looks like to me
They gonna think I'm all
is-
up in her business. I already see
No,
it. They gonna like,
no, he's good. He's good. So I just feel like if you pay attention to me, like I can always tell.
Right.
Like one of my closest friends or whatever, like right after the car accident, I like flowers. I love roses, like white roses
How about the
especially.
actual? Is they white?
White, yeah, white roses especially. So she heard me say that I really love white roses. And because like my flowers was dying, like I really didn't want to go outside because it was a big ass gash on my head and stuff like that. She literally came and she brought me white roses.
Yeah, that's fire.
And yeah, like she
That's
brought me
considerate. It's thoughtful.
that's what I'm
Yeah, it's
saying.
simple. Yeah.
So I feel like what makes me happy is you paying attention to me. Like you heard me say,
Yeah.
I like white roses.
Yeah.
And because you know I didn't have any roses or you know I like white roses, you brought me white roses just because. Like I just think it might sound cheesy again, but it's the thought that counts. Like I just feel like if somebody is putting in effort, like you're putting in effort into like what I like, so
Yeah.
you know I like this, so
Yeah.
you're going to do this without me having to ask.
No, that makes sense.
That makes me, yeah.
So we come into the plane is landing. I could say we could talk all day. I feel like, you know, the audience is enjoying the conversation. I know I am. Do you got anything that, you know, you want to leave them with or any final questions? I give you opportunity, bro. You got a final question for me because I did just ask that. And then anything you want to leave the audience with, let them know what you got coming up or let them know, you know, I don't know what, I mean, they follow your whole life, so I'm pretty sure they'll find out, but still let them know for my audience that might not.
So I feel like a lot of what we talked about today is they all know that we both have kids
Yeah.
or whatever. We talked about relationships.
Yeah.
We're both, are you single?
Hmm?
Okay, we both single then. So I feel like a question or something that we should leave them off with is, I guess I'm gonna ask you like, how is it with you having a name? Like we're both from Philly.
Right.
We're both very known in Philly. I guess I would say like, with you having a name, with you having daughters, like not
Yeah.
even sons, but daughters, so it's more sensitive, I guess,
Yeah, for
in
sure.
a sense. And being single, so in the dating world, how do you like? What's some advice you would give to like the other single dads, like in might be in the same shoes as you, or
Right.
might be whatever. Like, what's something that you would leave them with? What's something you would give
Yeah.
them?
My advice I would leave, you know, any man that's out there single is like, you know, work on yourself, right? And create that space for a relationship. You know, don't just get in one just to fill that void. Don't let nobody rush you into one. You know, figure out your process because you want to be whole and complete by the time you meet the woman whose life you're going to change because ultimately that's the objective and that's the goal, right? So like just, you know, speaking for myself is like, I know I'm in my ambitious years, right? So it's like I'm not, and I also want y'all to know even being in your ambitious years is like, don't start nobody else's process. So, you know, be honest about what you could commit to. And if it works, it works. If it don't, let it go. I know, you know, men tend to, and myself included at times in my life in the past, you know, you get something that's good and, you know, you want to hold on to it until you're ready. But in reality, I know it's easier said than done, and some people just gotta grow to that. But like I always look at it like capturing a beautiful butterfly. You know, the butterfly is beautiful, but if you put it in a jar, it's gonna die. So like sometimes you gotta let things fly and hope that they fly back to you if it's meant. And that's just what it is. But yeah, just work on yourself and be the best person you could be first. Because if you're a good person, you'll be a good dad, a good boyfriend, a good husband, a good brother, a good son, a good nephew, and all of the above. So as a man, just figure yourself out, read books, get around other men that's doing great things, learn from them, ask questions, put your ego aside. And then when you meet that woman, give her the same dedication that you was just giving yourself. But you gotta commit to you first. A lot of y'all get into relationships prematurely and then they don't work out because you came at 20% and then they already got their expectations and what they expect from you, and now you wasn't even able to meet the needs of your own, and now you expected to meet the needs of somebody else, and now you just looking like you failing in total. So get yourself right first. There's no rush. They're not going nowhere. And I say that, you know, yeah, they ain't going nowhere. Trust me. And if you get yourself right, they'll find you. So yeah, that's pretty much what I want to leave. You got anything you want to leave them with, or are you just going to piggyback off what I said? Piggyback off what you said. I thought she was about to ask me on a date when she said, "You single?" And I'm single.
Oh my gosh.
Malaya, will you go on a date with me?
Yeah, I hate him. I hate him so bad.
All right, now,
I
man,
hate
y'all
him
heard it
so
here. When we
bad.
come back, man, we got the Ask Wolf segment. Don't go nowhere. We see y'all back soon.
What is your take on one-parent households and how do they affect children?
I think that in a perfect world, we would want to see two-parent households. But as we know, the reality of it is, in most cases, that's not the case. At least in our experiences, you know, coming up in I would say like urban communities. It's not to say that you can't have a two-parent household, but let's just be real. How many we normally see mom or we see dad, we rarely see it together. But I think it deprived the kid of the opportunity to see what a family foundation and a family structure looks like. And I think that us as adults is on us to be able to be intentional about, making those things work before, even laying down to make a child, because we got to consider the longevity in these situations. A lot of times people get into these situations, they don't think about who it actually affects, which is the child. And, you want your child to have the experiences that you didn't have. So if you didn't have your mom or your dad in your life, you know what it did to you. You can only imagine what it's doing to your child. So I think if you don't have the luxury of having that two-parent household, then you should at least work as hard as you can to have a healthy co-parenting space where it's consistent, where a kid is not confused as to, when am I going to be with mommy, when I'm going to be with daddy, or do I got to love mommy more, do I got to love daddy more? No, it should be mom and dad have a huge amount of respect for each other, and they have so much love for me that they love each other because they want to see me happy. So I think a one-parent household is ideal, but the way for it to be able to work is just the two parents being able to understand, like, all right, you got two different houses, but when we come together, we still got the same agenda, the same mission, and that's to make sure this kid is happy and, living well. The Wolf has spoken. What's going on is The Wolf, and I want to take this time to say thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of The Couch. That I want y'all to do. I want y'all to do three things. I want y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. So remember to follow us on Instagram at wolfnetwork.wsc. Follow us on TikTok at wolfnetworkwse. And then, just continue to follow the network. Let's get it, man. The Wolf has spoken.